want to hear myself. I hate hearing myself.
I mean, yeah. Who likes to hear? I guess there's probably some part of humanity that really likes to hear their own voice.
No.
That's it? None. Okay. Why?
Me personally.
What is so revolting about our own voices?
No, I didn't say.
Wait, but speaking of I want you to, there you go. There.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm sure people have lovely voices. I don't want to hear my own voice, especially today. Listen to me.
No, you sound fine.
Okay. Fine.
Fran fine? You really think you sound like Fran Drescher?
Mr. Sheffield.
But you don't. No, but you don't have her laugh.
Thanks. No, but I've also, I've got a cold, so.
That was my attempt at a compliment to you.
I ignored you.
All right, let me make this worse for a second, and then, but I promise you'll love me right after this, okay? So I do have to get something off my chest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You ready? When I first met you, I thought you were a crazy ass bitch. Just off the walls bonkers.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, but...
Do you want to hear my impression of you?
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. And I'll guess before you do that, okay?
Okay.
But when we had that moment, remember? Standing outside, waiting to go in to pick up our kids from daycare?
That's like 3 years after we first met. You've had that first impression for 3 years?
I thought you were a crazy ass bitch for a long time. But we had that moment where we talked about how hard it is to be a working mom, right? And we clicked, we really had a meeting of the minds, meeting of the souls even. And since then I was like, oh, I get it. You just wear your heart on your sleeve. Like you're just a real motherfucker, And you went on holiday to Thailand right after. I didn't know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like ever since then, it was really cool to go to daycare to pick up my son because you were going to be there.
Aww.
And I was always looking forward to it. And then you went on holiday and I was a little bummed out because I didn't see you anymore, And after that moment, it's like I saw you in a completely different light. And you have this, what was so disappointing to not see you because you have this 1,000 megawatt smile, It's like if you click, if you pass your tests, if you pass your realness test, man, you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So I told you you're gonna hate me, and then
No. But it makes me wonder how many other people think I'm a crazy ass bitch. But you know what? That's fine.
Of course it's fine. Who cares?
I don't.
Good. Okay, so your first impression of me, I'm gonna guess, and then you
Sure.
tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, what I get is really arrogant or really humble. I don't know why I get one of the two. No.
So you know what? Actually, my first impression of you, I try to be open. I didn't think either of those things. I was neutral. But then I guess as I didn't know this, but as you were perceiving me as a crazy ass bitch, I started to perceive you as arrogant. But because we have mutual friends, I was like, I really trust this friend, and they're so close.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really possible.
No, it's possible.
I mean, it is, but I just didn't think that she would be friends with someone who was completely arrogant. I didn't quite understand how it worked.
I will admit that I do have my arrogant moments.
Fine.
No, but I dislike that part of myself. I do try to correct for it, but it just sometimes comes out. And I get how people can see that.
Well, I mean, the fact that for 3 years you thought that about me, you didn't even give me a chance once in those 3 years to change your mind.
Well, I did, but then you just kept saying crazy ass shit.
So you judged me for my honesty and for being opinionated, and now you're using it for your podcast. Nice. So now it suits you. Great. I'm going to bring this crazy ass bitch on my show to make it entertaining for everybody.
Well, okay, no, but I was honest with you when I asked you to come on here that the reason why I really want you on here is precisely that. Like, you are so much fun.
Thank you.
You are so much fun.
I was also drunk when you asked me to come on.
That's like podcast rape, isn't it? No, look, it's really it's so refreshing. Like that, this is people like you are rare. You know, that really tell you what they think. Really tell you what they think. You know, and those people, you kind of have to brace yourself, you know, for them. But man, they're so, people like you are so necessary. My wife is very similar, and she has also had moments where, especially around Americans, that they're like, oh my God, why is this woman screaming at, you know, and calling us all idiots? Like, yeah, she's hardcore. So, no, so I'm totally drawn to people of your ilk. In fact, I strive to be like you guys. So, crazy ass bitch to someone I admire. How about that? That's a pretty good evolution, no?
I need a process.
All right. So I brought you here to talk about my little 10 commandments of smartphones. Did you read I mean, it's a long thing that I read.
I skimmed. I didn't see 10.
Huh? I wrote 10. No?
I don't remember seeing 10. But
Anyway.
I didn't count. I don't. Yeah.
There's 10.
Okay.
Terrible skimming job. Yeah. So basically, I'll introduce it as follows. Smartphones are everywhere. They are part of our every waking moment, essentially. I mean, how is there any one place in the house that you don't take it with you?
No.
Except for the shower.
I take it to the shower, but it's
No.
not inside the actual shower, but it's on the edge of the sink. I thought it was funny that you chose me for this topic because, yeah, I need to do something about this addiction.
What's going on in the shower?
No, nothing. It's just there. It's on the sink. Like, it's just because it's there. And also, I don't wear a watch. I think it's one of the things I really need to start wearing a watch because my phone is also my watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
It's just, I don't know. You know, Amazon arrives. I have to my phone rings.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have it.
But okay, no. But I'm really just stuck on the shower business. What's going on in the shower? Every day in the shower, it's like right there.
It's just on the sink. It's not like, oh my God, I've got to get out of the shower to get to my phone. It's just part of it's just there.
Oh, okay. So you step out of the shower and you
Dry
yourself, or there you check the phone.
If it's rung while I'm in the shower, I'll probably check it first. But I have to make sure my fingers are dry. You're making me feel I'm really like
but
opportunity to
no we're all bad. All of us are bad.
No, some are worse than others. I would say I'm up there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, how about this? What's your screen time average?
I wouldn't even.
Too personal.
I wouldn't even. It's actually really. I wouldn't even want to begin to try and estimate that.
What do you mean estimate? The phone tells you, right?
Oh, I've never checked it.
Oh no, you don't have an iPhone.
I don't have an iPhone.
Okay,
but regardless, I've never tried checking. I wouldn't want to. It's like listening to the sound of my own voice. Right. It's like too confronting. No. Nay. It's evidence of my addiction. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. It's funny how I do ask people that, like, what's your screen time? And many people do respond just like you. Like, I don't know. I don't want to know. I turned that thing off. They're confronted with the scale of the addiction, and they're just like, and the reason why they shut it off or they don't want to is because they know it's like it's gone way too far.
For sure.
But oh my goodness. Okay, but one could argue, oh well, what's the big deal, right? So we're more I don't know, we're spending more time on WhatsApp, more time on Instagram.
I wouldn't argue that. One could argue, but no.
No. But some people, like, this is the pushback I usually get from people. Oh my God, why are you always banging on about this? Oh my God, you're so annoying. And like that's just the way the world is, and this is how I relax. And it's like, yeah, you need to relax because you're on this fucking phone all day, thinking, oh my god, who's gonna text me? What did I miss? You know, that's a big source of your anxiety, and so it's like this sort of self-perpetuating circle of anxiety. Here's the thing that relieves my anxiety, and then just on and on and on. And it's also it changes our behavior, right? Because, you know, these phones basically have turned us into gods, right? So you can send, your parents live in Australia?
Yep.
Okay, so you can send them a message like that, right? And they'll receive it when they wake up, or I don't know what. And you try doing that, try stepping outside your door and screaming, "Hey mom," or whatever. It'll never happen, right? But you can do that now easily 100 times a day. This is godlike power, but we're still the same monkeys who, you know, need to, you know, shit in a toilet and eat food and whatever, right? We're not gods, basically. We're animals, and we don't know what we're up against here. And this thing is just so pervasive, and it does disrupt. Now, yes, it has many, many benefits, and I'm really grateful for all those things. And for example, my kids have a relationship with their grandparents, as I'm sure your kids have a relationship with your parents, because they can FaceTime or whatever, right? Skype, Zoom, who the hell cares? So there are really amazing things that happen because of these devices. But, you know, just the way that, like, if you just pictured our online personalities and like made that into a person, that person would be the most despised person on earth. Just your online personality. Like, and we can go through it. So the 10 rules, right? So the first one, this one for some reason, just, I know I'm going to lose, but fuck it. No smartphones for anyone under the age of 18. Just terrible idea to give a kid a smartphone.
How old were you when you got your first phone?
My first cell phone?
Yeah.
Maybe 14. Cell phones are fine.
Just not a smartphone.
Just not a smartphone. Yeah.
So, but I mean, they won't have access to WhatsApp. They'll just be able to call up, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so problematic.
Go on.
No, I mean, like, you know, I know what you're saying, that on the one hand, a lot of their, you know, social interaction, a lot of the negative, you know, there are a lot of negatives associated with being, you know, in WhatsApp groups. And I haven't reached this yet because my children are so small, as are yours. Yeah, but I know that it's really intense. I had a friend the other day, she said my 8-year-old sends voice messages to her WhatsApp group using my phone. I'm going to have to buy her a smartphone. Yeah.
She's 8.
8. And yeah, but then, like, I mean,
they can
what are you doing to your child by not letting them be part of that? Yeah, I mean, it's like lose-lose.
8 years old.
I think having restrictions. I don't think like just, you know, confiscating or just not allowing it. I think you shouldn't be allowed to have them at school. Like when you walk into the doors, you put them into a locked box. I think those sorts of, you know, and have a limit, just like, you know, you do with screen time with television. But I don't think, you know, just saying you can't be part of those groups is necessarily the answer.
So.
But I don't really know because, I mean, I don't
yeah, but it's coming. You know, you and I, we have kids more or less the same age. We're going to have that really terrible conversation soon, right? Yep. Imagine your friend giving her child...
She hasn't yet, but she said she doesn't have it. She's going to have to.
Yeah, she's going to have to, whatever the fuck that means, right? You know, an 8-year-old, okay?
Yeah.
Right? Your eldest is 4. Right?
Almost 5.
Almost 5. Okay. So soon enough, she's going to come home and say, my friend this and my friend that, and I have 2 friends in class, and wouldn't that be so... And you're like, you need to have an answer for that, right? No?
I don't know. Not necessarily. Talk it through with her. See what, you know, what comes up in the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Sure, right. Reason with the 8-year-old and say,
I don't know what she's going to be like when she's 8.
look, as bad as we are on these phones, and we're really, really bad with these phones, like, why would we give this super ultra powerful device that can barge into any moment of your life, on the shower, when you're having dinner, when you're trying to get to sleep, when you're in the middle of a meeting, anything, right? It just pierces through any kind of boundary that you have in your life. Why would you give that to someone who is possibly the worst version of ourselves? No, just in terms of they don't, they're just not very socially practiced, right? They could say horrible things.
Of course. Yeah.
So what?
And yeah, I'm so grateful that social media didn't exist when I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
Right.
I must have been 19, 20 when no, maybe even 21. I had MySpace.
You and I are the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're 19, yeah.
Around that.
Mm-hmm.
And even then,
You had MySpace?
Of course.
Yeah? What was the thing in Australia?
MySpace, and I think in around 2007 I joined
Was Facebook?
Yeah. But it was a couple of years of
MySpace. Was MySpace? I'm trying to remember. MySpace is the one that had the music?
Yeah, it was very much music oriented.
Do you remember your song?
I changed them. I changed them.
Oh, you were into it.
Yeah, and the wall background.
Right.
Very personalised. No, but I mean, yeah, I think about it and I need to change my habits first before I...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Before I can even think
definitely.
about. But you're right. I mean, I think maybe also the fact that you said 18 though. I mean, that's old. You can drive a car when you're 16.
You can drive a car when you're 16, yes.
That's quite powerful too. I just think 18 is, even to begin with, as a...
The only distinction I would make between this technology and on all the others is that you carry this fucking thing everywhere you go. You're not smashing a car into the shower.
No, but actually you might argue that the potential impact of driving isn't even as detrimental as using a phone, but...
Well, no, I don't think that a car drives you crazy or makes you super anxious.
But you can easily kill yourself driving. No, I agree. I haven't given this enough thought.
Okay,
but there's a lot of things to think about when you're raising kids. But
yeah,
this is,
yeah. Well,
I haven't gotten to here.
I want to put a pin on a point that you made, that like first you got to fix yourself as the example for your kids, which is absolutely true. But like, here's another reason why I just think 18 should be the cutoff. Like, once they leave the house, fine, right? They're on their own. Hopefully, more or less, they can make their own decisions, or start to make, whatever it is that they need to do to decide in their life. You think about what school is. Yeah, so you throw a bunch of kids into this one building, this one institution, and are they learning something? Are they, yeah, I guess they're learning how to study. They're learning some basic things, how to read and write, some math that we're all going to forget. Like, what the fuck is algebra anymore? Calculus. Do you know calculus? No. Right. But it's like you're throwing these little monkeys into a building, right? And they're figuring out how to compete with one another, but also how to collaborate with one another, right? So they make friends. That's cool. But they all like, everyone knows that they fit into a hierarchy. In elementary school, that's when it starts, but definitely in high school, right? Everyone knows, whatever the size of the group is, but everyone knows who the good-looking kids are. Everyone knows who the smart kids are, and everyone else has to figure some shit out, right? They got to know, okay, what am I good at? Am I sort of good-looking? Am I really smart at this? They've got to figure some way out where they're thinking my future isn't fucking doomed because no one's gonna fuck me, and no one's gonna hire me, right? And so you add the smartphone onto that. Like, it just amplifies all that anxiety that goes on for most kids in the school setting, right? Who are just trying to figure out their way of where they land in the hierarchy. And so what you're feeling where you are in that setting can be heightened like that with one text, with one post, with whatever. And it can be reinforced much faster. And you can feel really, really lonely, right? And so I just, like, no wonder there's so much more teenage depression.
I haven't read the studies about this.
Yeah.
I mean, what have you found?
So there's a lot of this psychologist named Jonathan Haidt, and he's done some work on this, and he's shown or at least claimed anyway, a link between social media use and the rise in teenage depression, and it's cross cultural, so it's happening in the U.S., it's happening in the UK, in other countries as well. The rise is all similar. It's like times, I don't know, 5x or whatever. Most of it's happening with younger girls. I think that they're on this stuff more on the social media than boys are. Boys use they're more on like video games. Right? It's more collaborative. So he shows with some data that this all has to do with the explosion of social media use. I don't know, whenever it was, like 2012, right? Now, I would say yes, but the only reason social media use exploded, I think, you tell me if you think differently, is the fact that alongside that, there's also been a huge increase in smartphone availability for ownership. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But this conversation is really depressing. No, I mean.
No. Okay. So what do we do? What the fuck do we do?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's just, yeah, I'm thinking about the kids and.
Yeah. Like, you have a little girl, you know.
Yeah.
And she's a fucking little ball of sunshine. Like,
I'm just. That's exactly right. And
Yeah.
I was just like imagining her as a teenager having something horrible, you know, written about her and sent around,
Yeah.
and then her being in, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So
That's it happened, you know, when we were kids as well. It wasn't through the same channels, and obviously now, like, you know, through phones, you can reach far more people, and it can be, you know,
yeah.
but
Yeah. And also, like, reputation is such a delicate thing, you know. One person knows about some fuck up you did, big deal, right? But
yeah,
100, you know, and you think, oh, I'm sort of teetering on the edges of mediocrity, and all of a sudden, you know, the whole school knows that, I don't know what, I'm ugly or whatever. I have no idea, right?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you're not feeling well about yourself.
Yeah,
Right? And like that, you know, and it's so meaningless, you know, because what happens to you in high school isn't really, on the one hand, it can dictate how your life goes, but on the other hand, not always, right?
I don't think it dictates necessarily how your life goes, but, you know, I think it can stay with you and
Yeah.
you know, have an impact on your decisions and
Yeah.
the way you feel about yourself. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, like, if you take the other side of this argument, right, when it's like, look, technology's been around for quite some time. This is just another thing. We just got to get used to it. We'll adapt. Stop, you know. And also, okay, it's just another challenge for your kids. This will toughen them up. Not really,
No,
you
I
know?
know.
Like, they just got to learn to deal with it and live with it, you know.
Which is, I think.
What?
I think that's it.
Yeah, just throw up our hands and say,
What's your
no smartphones until 18.
You know what? 2 years. I'm gonna check in.
Yeah.
See how many of your kids have a
Well, the thing is, I have an enemy within. Duff is not on my side on this one.
it's funny because, so she's just not at all. She thinks it's perfectly fine, or she's just taking the view of there's nothing we can do. It's out of our hands.
Yeah, she's totally fatalistic about this.
Yeah, I think.
Get with the times.
Yeah, I think I think just managing it, doing our very best to teach our kids, obviously the right thing to do, to not be the people who actually spread those rumors or do anything negative. No, what? I mean, if we just need to make our kids understand, like, not to be the bully. It's in the same way as saying, like, you don't be the bully.
Yeah.
And then, give them the coping mechanisms and the tools to handle if it does happen to them. But regardless of whether they have a phone or not, they can't control that.
I'm just so, like...
See, here's the difference between... Sorry, I didn't mean
to
interrupt you.
Yeah, go.
Here's the difference. I'm a person who... you're facing it. And I'm the sort of person who just ignores these things and just goes, okay. And I guess kind of like stuff, like, it is what it is. I hate that phrase. I can't believe I just used it. But...
I just can't avoid seeing those numbers of crazy amounts of teenage depression. I mean, we're talking about 12-year-old girls, right? And thinking, raising my hands and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like this.
No, it's not fuck it. I don't want to think about it.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But I can't let that go, Like I think about those girls and I think, wow, that's horrible. And I think, what does that do for the rest of their lives? These are people, right? These are little girls burgeoning into women.
Well, I think it starts with the schools.
What do you mean?
With the way, like, I'm pretty sure over here, you can have your phones in class. It's extremely...
oh, yeah?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really know how it works here.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have really said that. But, I can guess that in the yard they can have them. I really think that they need to, like, that's where they can control it. I mean, maybe you can say it starts with the parents not even buying them in the first place.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening.
Well, okay, but why are we caught in this circle of parents? They're all just sort of looking at each other like, did you buy it? Did you buy it? Did you buy it? Did you buy it?
I don't think anyone's looking at each other.
Oh, but okay, fine. So the kids are looking at each other, right? And then they come home and say, well, so-and-so has it, right? I don't want to be left out or something like this. Yeah?
I have no idea how it works these days with kids. But presumably, like with anything,
Yeah.
I want, blah blah's got Adidas click pants. I want them too.
Right.
Remember that fashion?
Of course.
Wait,
I'm because I'm a total dinosaur when it comes to like social media, for example. Duff, my wife, she says she likes to keep up with some of these technologies. I think she's half full of shit when she says this, but she likes to keep up with Instagram and all this stuff because then she knows what the kids are on, and so she can sort of kind of with one eye open monitor what's going, like what the kids are up to these days and stay relevant. Do you do that as well?
Not for that reason.
What do you
maybe
use?
I
What do you want?
actually not much. I was on Facebook for years, and then I only got an Instagram account. I mean, I had one for years, but it was dormant. I mean, I just started using it properly this year.
What does properly mean?
Not even properly. I don't even really. I've posted maybe once or twice, but I use it to follow and to.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, well, everyone used to be like, "Oh, did you see, so and so? She makes these really healthy muffins or whatever it may be." In the mum discussions.
Okay, now
and I'd be like, yeah, I'm not on Instagram. I don't know what you're talking about. So really, it's not about keeping up with the kids. It's Instagram is just full of mums. Seriously, it's just maybe TikTok. TikTok's for the kids. Instagram is Mumville. Yeah, it's all the parents. Yeah. It's hilarious.
No way.
Yes. I was shocked.
What do you find on there?
What don't I find on there?
I don't know. Give me a sample. Don't give me healthy muffins. That's ridiculous.
how to braid my daughter's hair, like to give like different cool hairdos. But it's also a lot of comedy. There's a lot of relatable. I send my husband, because I'm not working at the moment, obviously.
Yeah.
I would say probably it depends actually. Some days I could send him half a dozen links to clips on Instagram, to reels, to videos.
What is mom humor like? What are you laughing
It's
about?
as predictable as you'd think. Like
I'm just trying to think like what my mom would have laughed at when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
No, think about what Duff would laugh at when she laughs at you.
Oh, it's like stupid husband stuff.
Yeah, mainly it's stupid husband stuff, and kid stuff, but mainly
mainly stupid
husband.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
wow. That's
for example,
there's plenty of material there.
Yeah, clips like the husband comes home. And the wife's like, I've been here all day. Yes, thank goodness he's finally home to help. And then he goes into the bathroom for 45 minutes. It doesn't sound funny, but the way that
yeah.
Things like that.
Do all the jokes, all those stupid husband jokes, start with "and my husband came home"?
No,
and then
no, but a lot of them do. But it's also self-deprecating humor. A lot of the laughing at themselves, and it makes me feel normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Okay, but that's actually a positive then.
Yes.
It is. There is that connection.
Except I need to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And, maybe not take the phone into the shower. And maybe not have it be the last thing I look at before I go to sleep and the first thing when I wake up.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. If you can't see the sun, don't send that text. How often do you send texts in the wee hours of the night or even early morning?
I mean, if you can't see the sun, look, at 8 o'clock at night, I will, a lot. Because
do you remember?
That's when the kids are asleep. And although, because here's the thing with me, because I have 2 time zones that I deal with, it's 24/7. Because think about it, Australia's between 7 to 9 hours ahead of us.
Yeah. But okay, do you remember, maybe you didn't have this when we were kids, but did you have dinner together every night with your family?
Not every night, but most nights.
Okay, and when you had dinner together, was there a rule, like the phone would ring in our house and one or both of my parents would get annoyed. It's like, well, don't they know it's dinner time? Leave us the hell alone. You ever have that?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Who calls it dinner time?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, doesn't matter, right? Like the cost of sending the text, like we're so, it's just, there's no embarrassment, right? When you're calling someone, you actually have to sort of talk and this, and it's like there's a whole sort of operation to get to what you want to say, right? Especially at dinner time, like, oh my God, yeah. But the cost of sending a text is nothing, right? You type something and you think, okay, whenever they get to it, Now, we all know that everyone is just hanging out with their smartphone in their pocket or on the table or whatever. So, yes, it doesn't cost like anything, and yes, you could hide behind the thing and say, well, they'll answer it whenever they're free. But let's be honest, like if they don't answer within 5 seconds, you're already starting to get anxious, like, oh my God.
No.
You don't have that?
It really, honestly, it depends on the message and like.
Okay, so when you were at work.
Yeah, see, this is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Thing that I actually was thinking, you had a couple of topics, but they're inextricably linked. Like this and being a working mum.
Yeah.
I was thinking about an example. I used to, when I was working, put my kids in the bath.
Yeah.
With heaps of bubbles for ages so that I could sit on my phone in the bathroom on Slack and respond to all my messages and work.
Holy shit. And you'll never get those moments back.
Thank you. Thanks for just pointing that out again to me.
Well, I'm trying to depress you as much as possible.
I know, I'm feeling horrible sitting now.
No. No, the thing is, look, you want human connection? I'm just as bad as you.
I
Okay?
don't think you are.
I'm pretty bad. I'm like I'm marginally, you know, better so-called than other people. Marginally. I'm like my phone use about 6 months ago was 2 hours a day, and now it fluctuates between an hour and a half.
What do
2 hours.
you define as phone use?
Oh, just whatever the hell the iPhone, my overlords at Apple tell me is my screen time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have that much.
Yeah.
So, but if you're talking on the phone, do you,
But
like if you're having an actual conversation, talking to somebody, as opposed to scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, sending messages, like you define all of that as phone time?
who talks on the phone anymore?
I'm just asking. I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Who do you talk to?
I talk to my friends. I talk
Yeah?
to my mum. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, more so my friends in Australia who I don't see face to face. Yeah.
And you like, okay, but that's a video call or?
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
But I also am a huge fan of the voice messages on WhatsApp.
You
which I
are,
know that a lot of, and I don't know, a lot of men hate it.
Oh, it's horrible.
Hate.
Horrible. What is this?
So I've got a deal with one male friend who said the only time I'm allowed to send him a voice message is when I'm pushing the stroller, because he understands I only have one hand free. That's the deal. So I always start my message with, "I'm pushing the stroller."
What is the voice message?
I just love it.
Why? So irritating.
I knew you would think that.
Of course, but I will say, thank God for the 1.5 to 2 times speed. By the way, I'm just as pathetic for being irritated by this, because we're talking really about 30 seconds. If you go like 2 minutes, if you're gonna send a 2-minute voice message, I'm afraid we're gonna have to call this.
I basically create podcasts. You do. You should ask, some of my closest friends. If I look through, I wonder what my record is for a voice note. I think at least 2 minutes. I've sent them for
2 minutes.
At
That's
least.
your okay.
That's pretty.
No, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. What? But what's? I mean, there's no friction there. Like, there's no, you have a thought, and then you wait for someone to respond. You just go for 2 minutes straight.
Sometimes I'll send 5 in a row. It's just a stream of consciousness. Maybe
What?
the first impression of me was right. As we've been talking, by the way, every so often it pops back into my head and I'm finding it hard to concentrate.
I told you we were gonna have fun. What? Okay. Do you think you could find yourself in a face-to-face conversation just going 10 minutes straight talking without the other person not responding?
Do you know me? No. I didn't. I mean, maybe not 10 minutes, but often what will happen is, and my friends love me for who I am.
Of course.
So I might send a few in a row, because I have some dilemma,
Okay.
and I'll almost talk it out as if it's a conversation, and then I come up with the answer, and then they will respond something like, "I'm glad I could help you."
Okay. No, but now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so this is really like a sort of therapeutic.
Yes, and it's instead of actually making that phone call,
Okay.
But no, we do end up having a conversation about it. But if they're not free and they're not responding, it's not that I'm getting annoyed. We're going back to the point, like you said, if they don't, respond within 5 seconds, no, that's not the case.
Okay, but let's. I'm fascinated by this voice note business, but let's go back to the you're sitting there, your kids are in the bubbles,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
If it's 7 o'clock at night, and it's we're talking long past the end of work, someone sends you a text, there is this innate pressure.
What do you mean long past the end of work? It doesn't work like that when you've got mobile phones or
Right.
and laptops.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's be real. How much of that stuff is urgent?
Honestly, I don't know because by the time I finished working, I'd completely lost perspective.
Yeah. No, I know.
But I don't know. It's also, again, about expectations. They know you have a phone. They know you have access. You're working with people on the other side of the world in the US. You've got this frame, small time frame to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And normally that's, between 5 and 8 or 5 and 9 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So 7 o'clock is not the end of the day, especially as a working mum where you've left at 4 o'clock to pick up the kids. And then at some point you need to, make up that time.
Yeah. It's just...
Or get to your work.
The fact that you said that you lost perspective on what's urgent, what can wait. Now, working with the U.S. and you're over here, that time zone, yeah, that's a tough one to get around, Because if you wait another day, it just pushes it off another day.
And you can't work on it the next day because you haven't.
Right, they didn't respond. Yeah, sure. But they're probably, because, these phones can break any sort of semblance of boundary, right, between personal and let's say work life.
Yep.
You do, as you said, lose perspective on like, well, what's real, what's important, and what isn't. And it's in your pocket. And again, what does it cost you, right? You pick it up. Oh, okay, I'll answer this right now. And then we create this culture of answer this shit right now. It doesn't matter what it is,
Yep.
So I would say rule number 2, don't fucking do that shit unless it's really, really important.
Yeah, but you lose perspective on what's really important, don't you?
So let's regain that perspective.
Yeah. It's actually funny. I'm just going to...
Yeah.
I just remembered now that when I used to work for the federal government in Australia, I was like executive level 1, and I was 1 level below when you got a BlackBerry.
Okay.
And so I never, I really was dreading ever getting a promotion.
You mean a brick breaker machine? Come on. Half the time on the BlackBerry was just...
I never had one.
Oh.
So this is the point.
Okay.
I was like, I'm dreading getting a promotion because I don't want a BlackBerry.
Oh.
I was able, because everything was secret, you couldn't, it was the government, so I didn't have, I'm sure some people had computers at home, but they had special laptops, and it wasn't, everyone didn't have one. I left the office and I left my work. I didn't have a phone with emails. I didn't have anything at home.
Yeah.
And I really loved that. I'd leave work, I'd go to the gym, do whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
And it didn't follow me.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I'm dreading that BlackBerry and having a computer at home, a laptop. And then here we are. And I even actually, in my next job over here, I think for the first 2 or 3 years, I managed to avoid having emails on my phone. I didn't add my account.
How'd you do that?
I just didn't add it. I just, I think it was before I had kids. So before I had kids, I was able to avoid bringing work home. And yeah, I finished at 7, and I really finished at 7.
Wow.
Look, okay, no, I did occasionally work at home, but that would only be on my laptop, and I'd have to actively check my emails. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a ping on my phone that I would just instantly check straight away. And then change my mood, day, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a good point because it's amazing how quickly our mood can change based on a text.
Yep.
Right, or an email.
An email, anything.
Yeah.
A Slack.
Yeah.
Mostly Slack. Oh my God.
It's like, and I think the larger point I'm trying to make is like these things are everywhere and they follow us everywhere. We just need a fucking break.
You're so right. It was actually one of the things when I left, when I just, cancelled all my accounts on my phone, when I just disconnected, that felt pretty surreal.
What do you mean accounts?
My Gmail, everything on my phone that was connecting me to working.
Yeah.
When I deleted all of those, that was liberating.
Next rule.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. One of my favorites. So on WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know that little. So you have the name of the person, the contact, and then just below online.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Think we need to get rid of this thing, or find a way to just not let anyone know whether you're online or not. There is a way to do that now.
See, I was actually about to ask that because I know you've obviously got the blue ticks and the grey ticks.
Yeah.
But I don't think that even moving to the grey ticks removes the online.
Okay, it doesn't, but at least it doesn't let the other person know that whether you've read the message or not, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't let the other person know when the last time you were online.
I don't think it does. It does anyway, does it? Even if you have blue ticks, can you see when they were last online, people?
As far as I'm aware, there's 3 settings, right? There's when the last time you were online, if you read, and the blue ticks, right? So whether you read a message or not. Then there's a mid-level, which is you can do blue ticks, but it doesn't show the last time you were online. And then there's the gray ticks.
Wow, I don't know. See,
What are you?
So I'm not. I'm blue ticks.
Yeah, you're blue
but
ticks.
I don't know about the online. And I haven't actually taken note of that since I was dating.
What?
Because I was years and years and years ago. When I was dating someone, and I wanted to see if they'd looked at my message, if they'd been online.
Yeah.
I haven't actually taken note of some of the last online status since then, years and years and years ago.
Okay, so
I didn't even know it existed still.
Funny. Okay, so I bet I see this always, right? I see this everywhere around me, that people are just checking if other people are online.
Really?
Yeah, and it's creepy.
Yeah, I know. The only time I do that is on Facebook Messenger to see if my mum's active on Messenger.
What?
To see if she's awake, if if I should be
is that how you guys communicate?
Her WhatsApp's not been working for months, so we've been using and she's like, well, your brother's gonna fix it. He's tried. I think I need a new phone. Anyway, it's fine. That's fine. She can use WhatsApp, but I need to let her know on Messenger when I've sent her a message on WhatsApp, so she checks that she's not getting notified. But I can't actually help her. I'm not there.
WhatsApp has 2 billion users, and only one of them it doesn't work.
I don't know. It works. She's just not being notified unless she's in WhatsApp. I'll see one tick for days.
Oh God, it's this incessant need to know, because again, you can send this and we know that we send it and it's going to reach that person, and we know that person's going to see it because they have their fucking phone on them all the time, and who doesn't check their phone constantly? So let's not bullshit around whether we saw a message or not. So that's the operating system that we've got going on. And if someone doesn't immediately respond, all of a sudden, we start getting conspiratorial. Oh, are they mad at me? Oh my God, what's going on?
I know. It's horrible. It fuels that anxiety.
Yeah. And then just to relieve that anxiety, you start checking their other accounts, right? You go on Instagram, did they post? Oh, they were.
No, you know what you do?
Tell me.
It depends. Because I don't do this actively, but there have been times where I'm in a bunch of WhatsApp groups or there's. And then you go, oh, but hold on. They've seen these messages.
Yeah.
But they haven't opened this one. What's going on here?
People are so stupid, huh? When they...
No, but often, I get it. It really depends, on what they need to. I've actually learned this. To not, to really take it, not to be too worried about it, because, again, people, and I think you end up having with your closest friends, you have these unsaid agreements where, okay, if I don't message, it's not because anything's wrong. I'm just with the kids, and I don't want to be. And I've got a friend like that. She said to me, I'm trying not to be not to have my phone on me so much, and I wait, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there is one person once said this to me, that you could, instead of just ignoring the message, just say, I read it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
problem is, though, I think that why should it be on the other person who didn't invite this message to then say, like, to every single one of these messages, I will answer you when it's appropriate, you know? It's tiring, no?
Of course it's tiring, but maintaining friends is tiring. No?
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay, but it's just like with anything. I mean,
What do you mean maintaining friends is tiring?
No, not tiring, but like you need to put effort in to maintain friendships. I mean, I know, like I've got a friend in Australia and she says to me like, she knows that, I don't know how to put this really. It's not that I, like, you know, with her other friends, she has far more contact. I'm more of a, take a step. You know, I don't need that sort of contact every single day. And she doesn't take offense to that anymore.
Yeah. More.
No, I don't know that she took offense to it, but, you know, she understands that it doesn't take away from our friendship, that we're not constantly talking, constantly messaging each other. And that's fine. But, like, yeah, I think it's arranging things. That's where we do it. We do it via messages. And you need to be available and you need to be able to. And now with kids as well, it's just like it's actually insane. What's like the amount of time you need to spend messaging.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the thing really that takes.
What's your routine with that?
Routine?
Yeah, because Duff, I think, so we put the kids to bed and then she goes back to her phone and then scrolls through. It's like she's got all these unread messages from all these groups.
From all the groups.
Right, we have 3 kids, so that's 3 daycares, right? Birthday parties, you know, what's going on. And it's 3 different buildings, right? So 3 different daycares in 3 different buildings. So birthday parties, holidays, you know, gifts that you got to do, pajama this, whatever. And of course, the dumb husband over here doesn't fucking follow any of this stuff. I just totally delegate that to her and she takes it on. So she spends, I don't know how much, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a night scrolling through the stuff, reading through it, trying to keep up, just trying to keep up with all this messages.
I think for my, I wouldn't say it's a routine. For my younger son, everything's in English. So for me, I don't need to do, like I just look at it as it comes through super quickly, respond, you know, as I need to. Yeah. It's no big deal. Mm-hmm. For my daughter, everything's in Hebrew. If I've got time, I'll read it as it comes through because I feel like that's more efficient for me. Mm-hmm. Because, I read Hebrew, but it takes me, if I have to read all those messages, I won't do it. For the days where that does happen and I just don't get to the messages, I do not read through them all. I go to my husband and I say, give me read through it really, really quickly. Give me the summary, the key points. Yeah. And that's it. I won't go through all those messages.
But the wild thing about that is, I'm guessing, right? You tell me if it's different, but people probably ask the same damn questions over and over again.
Don't even get me started.
I know, I want to get you started.
I hate those groups. Anyway, go on.
But no. Tell me like your top 3 pet peeves in these groups.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Number 1 is
repetitive questions.
But also when they I hate when parents fire the parents up, like everybody else up, over things that could potentially be resolved differently. Like it's just,
What do you mean fire parents up?
Like.
Man, I'm missing some good stuff.
No, it hasn't actually happened in one of our groups for a while.
Okay.
Where sometimes, you know, they take it to they make it like take it to the whole group rather than resolving something on their own. That they fire everybody up. Sometimes it's positive. Sometimes it's a good thing. Yeah. And I know we've had cases where it was necessary. You needed group action, but other times
you're talking to someone. Yes.
So you clearly have delegated all of this.
All of it.
Wow.
All of it. I don't go there. You
don't even know what I'm talking about.
No fucking clue.
Okay. Oh, I'm not going to raise it now. But it's definitely inappropriate. I'm trying to think of my third peeve. I can't believe that these aren't coming out flowing. Like I get so annoyed so often. How am I not thinking of an example?
Oh goodness. Yeah, I just think if we all just went to the gray checkmark thing, I think it's good for us not to be creeps.
Yep, I agree.
stalkers.
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
But I also think you need to get rid of the online. That you can't
Just totally, yeah.
because otherwise, like the grey ticks are good, but
Well, it's the best we can do, right? I don't run WhatsApp. Now, do you? What? What is that face?
no, I don't.
Okay.
Definitely don't run WhatsApp.
Rule number 4. Always remember that no one cares about your selfies. Do you do selfies?
With my kids,
And do you post?
selfies. No.
Yeah. Okay. So this is for your like internal consumption. And maybe you send it to your parents, or your family, or your friends. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain to me the selfie. What?
I don't think. I mean, I can't explain the selfie, but
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think it's. I think it's more about with the younger generations now. I don't know. Our generation really still into selfies. Is that a thing still? Like really selfies that I don't know.
What do you mean? When you walk on the street.
Yeah, I don't see people. I see it's more the younger kids, like 16, 17, 18
Yeah.
year olds taking selfies. And actually over here, it's more like full on model shoots rather than
Yeah.
selfie. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
And just like I look at those moments. I study those moments and I think what's going on through their minds when they snap those pictures. Like what do they expect is going to happen?
I don't think it's about what they expect is going to happen.
Okay.
I mean, it's like I get it. They want to be models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. But to be a
And
model.
they obviously they want to have the best version of themselves on display in social media. Like they want,
Right.
just like what we were talking about. They want to be the beautiful ones. They want to look perfect and give that impression.
No problem. Okay. So there is some motivation behind these selfies, right?
Of course.
It's not for their own. Like they take the picture and they store it away in their phone and they don't share it with anyone, right?
Right.
So there is some sort of attention seeking there. Now, I'm not against seeking attention. We all do it. It's fine, right? We all need attention from someone. But I guess the question is, what kind of attention and from whom? And if you're constantly, or frequently, I should say, searching for attention from strangers for your looks.
It's not necessarily strangers though. It's
Go on.
they're sending it to these WhatsApp groups that we're talking about. With that like. I
No,
think
that's
that-
fine. Like you send a selfie and it's you and your friends, and you send it to another group of friends who are kind of linked.
It's fine, but where does it end up as well? I mean, that's another discussion. But in selfies, it's less of an issue. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And do they ever come out good? There's always the arm that's kind of hanging on the side of the picture, or the angle's a little weird. Like who can do a good selfie?
People with selfie sticks.
Yeah, but then you have a selfie stick.
No.
Do you have a selfie stick?
No.
You hesitated.
No,
You
I
had
don't,
one.
I don't. I don't have a selfie stick. I don't. I have like this weird thing. It's almost like a tripod that you can connect to anything and take.
Tripod.
It's not really a tripod. It does have 3 legs, but they're sort of very flexible, and you can tie it to anything so that you can take. It's a selfie without holding the phone.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Tripod. Those are 3 sticks?
Yeah.
You got a selfie stick, my dear.
It's not an actual, and I didn't buy it. And the only time I've used it is to take family photos where I attach it to the stroller and spend like 10 minutes going back and forth trying to get a perfect family shot. That's the only time I've used it. Okay. But you know what? I thought about it just now. I have taken some selfies.
Yeah.
Like when I came out of a facial and I took it. And if you'd walked past me, you would have seen me standing on the street taking a selfie.
Okay.
Yep.
And I would have thought, I wonder what she wants to achieve with that.
Exactly. And all I wanted to achieve was to persuade my friend to come and get a facial at the lady I go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was it.
Okay,
And I looked very fresh-faced, and I was and I felt young, and I wanted to take a selfie.
I actually, I admit that I'm a fan of those kinds of selfies. That it's like, no, seriously, directly targeted at one person who knows exactly what you're talking about, right? That's really fun and cool, and but like, I'm from Miami, and you see this a lot, and we'd go out to South Beach, and Miami is a very strange place. Like it's a really it's a remarkable place because it's one of the biggest cities in the world. Everything works there. You've got all this sort of international flavor. There's a lot of stuff going on. And on the other hand, it's extremely superficial. And so you can go out and pay $15 for a fucking cocktail or God knows what, and you see all these people, and they'll go, they're like the strangest things. So there'll be some hotel and the bar, and then there's a sort of patio courtyard area. You can drink in front of the microphone. It's fine.
I don't want to
What?
make noises with the water. Go on. Miami.
I don't want
cocktails.
to make noises.
Go on.
And yeah, so we were there, and there was like this, I don't know, this huge skeleton of a dinosaur, but it was clearly fake or something in a glass box, and people would go up to it, not really study the damn thing, but just to go up to it and just so they can whip out their phone and take out a selfie. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what? This is a sort of conveyor belt of selfie taking that I just think no one gives a fuck. No?
But does anyone really give a fuck about anything? I mean, it's also like when you go to Paris and you take a photo of the Eiffel Tower. Why do you need that photo? Just Google Eiffel Tower. Like,
Yeah.
you don't.
I mean, to show people.
Maybe that's not a great example, but to show people that you've been there. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to show people that I've stood in front of a dinosaur at whatever. It's the same thing.
Rule number 5. This one, honestly, I take no prisoners on this. Keep food and phone separate.
I really like that rule.
But
I don't abide by it. I will.
you don't.
I'm going. No, you've inspired me. You've inspired me.
I just, food is one of those things where, especially when you're eating with other people, where it's an experience. It's a sacred experience, I would say. Like we'll go out for lunch, right? And we'll have a salad. Yeah, basic, You have a salad with salmon in it, and I have a salad with chicken in it, and then we take a bite.
You're painting a beautiful picture.
Right.
Go on.
And I have a bite, and the tomato in my salad, and we both have tomatoes in our salad, right? And the tomato is just exploding with flavor, and it's great, right? And I say, "Wow, did you try these tomatoes?" Like, "Yeah, I tried these tomatoes." And like, this is common. This happens all the time, right? We freak out over how good some ingredient tastes, And that's a shared moment, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's and it can go on. You see this, right? Like you people go to a restaurant and they give reviews, and it's like, you got to try the bruschetta or whatever the fuck it is, right? It scales. And the fact that these things scale means that we're getting closer here to the universal, right? Which is like, okay, now we're getting at bedrock of human experience. These tomatoes are fucking great. To have that interrupted by some fucking notification from Instagram pisses me off.
Here's the problem, though.
All
you
right.
don't know what you're going to be interrupted by. What if it's important?
Yeah. But again, right, when we were growing up and we would have dinners with our families together, my parents for sure, and apparently your parents as well, would say, "Why? Who the hell is calling us during dinner time? Don't they know?"
See,
How often was there really some fucking emergency?
It's true, but that's when you're at home with your family. So if we're sitting and having lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and our altogether 5 children
Yeah.
are not with us
Yeah.
or with our spouses,
Yeah.
I want to be available to answer my phone. But I actually think the key here is to be able to silence everything else besides what you need to hear. So I know you can do it with phone calls, where you could say like, you know, I think there's a function where you can have your phone on silent besides receiving calls from specific numbers.
Okay.
And I feel like that, you know, I don't think you can silence all your WhatsApps besides specific ones. I don't know if you can do that unless you go through each one individually and do that. But that's like, that I think is a way to...
I would just, I have a rule in my house, no phone at the table.
Okay, but we're not talking about at your house. We're talking about us going for lunch and enjoying tomatoes. It's not the same scenario. I have no issue with putting my phone away at the dinner table with my whole family there. But we're not talking about that.
So, okay, so that's interesting. So the issue is the emergency that we may have to attend to.
And I'm also just I'm terrible with that sort of stuff. Like, I don't think it goes through my husband's mind for a minute like, oh, I'm having lunch. What if there's an emergency? Never. I know, but I'm a psycho bitch in the words of Kobe.
And did I call you a psycho?
I don't know what you said. Crazy bitch.
Crazy bitch, right?
Same. But so yeah, I would feel anxious unless I said to my husband in advance, I'm turning my phone off. Make sure you have your phone on in case something happens to the kids and we need to go get them.
Yeah. The thing is,
not that I disagree with you, of course.
Yeah.
Like, but I just don't know how to get around that.
Yeah.
That feeling of anxiety, which will ruin my lunch anyway. I won't enjoy the tomatoes if I think, oh God, what if someone's calling me? What if?
There you go. So that's okay. So, all right, let me just back up for a second. So, the unexpected emergency. Well, every emergency is unexpected. The emergency that's unaccounted for, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you've got your family around with you, you feel better because if there are people that are in urgent need of help, that really only need my help, I see them all in front of me, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, and if you're not around them, and if you're with me having salads and eating this incredible tomatoes, you've got a problem.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got plenty of problems. That's one of them. Yeah.
Just notice, by the way, that the reason I love doing these things is it's therapeutic for me anyway, and it's also sacred. Say hi to the listener right now. Hello.
Hi.
Coming out of the shower. In the gym right now. Walking to work. Hello.
Oh, that's one of my pet hates, actually.
What?
People walking in front of me. Because, you know, as we walked in, you said to me, because I beat Google here, walking, and you said, oh, I hate fast walkers.
I do.
And I hate people who stop me from being a fast walker. And those people are mostly on their phones in front of me walking.
Is that rule number... That's rule number 6.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, rule number 6. Watch where you're fucking going. Oh, so irritating.
So irritating.
What is that? What?
I wonder if I'm also guilty of that.
We're all guilty. I'm...
Yes. But I apologize, you know that? If I
oh, really?
I
wow.
really do. No,
Good for you.
I'm sorry. But other people here do not. They're like,
so?
You're in my way. I'm on the phone. Like, obviously I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You apologize. Good for you. You fucking do it anyway.
If it does happen, no, but I very rarely. Like, I'm a fast walker. I beat Google by like 5 minutes today.
You just said that you send your friend these insanely long voice messages when you're walking the goddamn stroller.
But that is actually one of their benefits. Because I'm not looking down. I'm not using I'm looking up, watching where I'm going, talking.
Okay.
I actually was going to say that to you before. That's one of the benefits of the voice notes. That you're not looking down.
Yeah.
You don't need to look at the screen at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So... I mean, okay, so walking on the street, definitely. It's very annoying. It happens all the time. I do it every day. I'm an idiot. I'm a super hypocrite for this stuff, but I really... The reason why I hate it so much when I see it in other people is because I hate it so much in myself. Like, it is a projection of...
That's deep. No, I'm just.
No, but okay.
It's
but
true. It's true. Of course.
This is
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
a common
Yeah.
thing. You know, examine all your hatreds, and you probably find them.
No,
in
I
yourself.
think in this case, I agree with you. For me, it's not the case here. But in a lot of other cases, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the other thing, which is even more insane, is when people use their phone while driving.
I can't even. Don't even get me started.
This is the craziest fucking behavior.
Insane. And in Australia,
Yeah.
the fines for using your phone
Mm-hmm.
are so crazy.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the worst. I don't actually know anymore, but you get a lot of demerit points and huge fines.
Yeah.
And here,
So I don't know how, like, in terms of how to police this, or not even police it, but just what kind of policies to make. I don't know where I land on that, but if there were studies that show that texting while driving is more dangerous than driving drunk or high. And if you think about all the stigma that's attached to drunk driving, or driving when under the effect of any other kind of drug, people look at you and are like, "Ooh, the guy's got problems. Like, that's horrible. Don't you know how dangerous that is?" But that stigma doesn't apply to people who text while they drive, even though it's more dangerous than the stuff that everyone clearly understands they shouldn't be doing. What the fuck?
maybe it's a matter. Yeah, maybe it's a matter of time though as well. I don't even know that it is. I mean,
imagine your last moments in life is you typing LOL and then
I know. I mean, drinking and driving was acceptable at some point, right? And you wouldn't have been judged for it. And that's what I meant by a matter of time. I mean, you weren't judged for it. It was something that people just did.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, now it does have a stigma, and now it is, I don't know how long it takes though.
Yeah.
And but I think also people feel that it's more important to be able to text and drive than to drink and drive. It's something that they think they need to do 24/7.
Yeah.
Whereas people aren't drinking. I mean, there are some people drinking at 10 a.m., 9 a.m., but less so. Whereas using your phone, as you say, it's a 24/7.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're sort of honing in on my fucking point about this stuff really alters our behavior in ridiculous ways.
Yeah.
That are
and we don't want to judge ourselves, do we?
I'm calling everyone a hypocrite. All right. Rule number 7. Don't type anything you wouldn't say in person.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I think if we go back to writing letters.
Okay. What? Jesus.
It's the same. So there are times where like people will, or in the past, they will have written like a letter to someone who, express things that they couldn't say. How is it different?
Say that again.
People used to write letters
to
express things that they couldn't actually say to the other person.
Okay.
And maybe emails have taken the place of those letters rather than texts, but I'm not sure.
I guess the point, that's a good point. Because
but you're saying in the haste of the moment, like not to.
Right.
Is that more
yeah, exactly. Like sort of the impulsive, whatever the hell that you, and then you're sort of like, ooh.
Yeah, my rule is like when I'm annoyed, I write it out, and then I don't send it, and then I edit it as I calm down until and your wife's actually been on the other end of my edit.
Really?
Yeah, where I've been like, what about this version,
Whoa.
Until I come up with something that's tactful, and normally it's a third of the length of the original one, and I've deleted all of the aggression until I have the perfect text.
Yeah.
Or what I think is the perfect text.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think that rule actually.
So that's cool, because then you really do have more control over your online personality than I think most people do. Because if you just send out that first version. You know, how many times have you had a fight with your husband, just raw, but over text?
I actually read an article about this the other day. I didn't fully read it. I just, again, skimmed it. But it was
Right.
saying you should never argue with your partner over text. And yeah, I have. And I've definitely said things that I would not say in person.
Right.
And it's not good.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's a good rule.
But okay, so let me argue against ourselves
Go
here,
on.
which is, do you think that it's good to vent, like just vent raw, to have this channel to be like, you fucking horrible person?
No,
You know,
I
along
think
those lines?
I think also in writing, when you put stuff in writing, it's no, I don't think it's good to have that channel.
In writing, because what we can't get.
It's there. Like,
Oh, it's there forever.
not necessarily forever, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's
I
incriminating.
don't think it's good. Yeah, I don't think. It's
No, but
good.
also,
Wait, sorry.
go on.
I think there is one good thing about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's if you have the guts to read back over it, you can learn some things about yourself and yeah,
Read back over what you wrote or what the other person
what
wrote?
you wrote. Like I've read over, there's times where it's happened and I've gone, you're a ridiculous human being.
Really?
Whereas if I've just said the things, I'm like, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I don't really understand the absurdity.
But okay, so again, let me argue against ourselves here. We're all that asshole, right? We all have horrible thoughts that go through our minds, you know. Now, whether we say it or we don't, you know. Now, and if you think about all the people that we interact with, there's only a select few of people that really get to see that side of ourselves, right? And even those people don't see the full monster. They see most of it, but not all of it, right? So should we just be? Is it okay to let the monster out for those people online, or just no good? Like that article you said, don't argue with your partner over text, because that shit's gonna end up in court.
I don't think that was the main point, but look, I don't know, because I mean, it could. It's not even. It could, and then they'll be like, "Look how unhinged, you know, she."
Yeah. I didn't follow this Johnny Depp stuff. Did you? Yeah, you did. Okay.
I really did. I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop.
Tell me.
I had COVID actually.
Okay.
When it was all happening, and I was really bedridden, and that's one of the. That was exactly.
That's what kept you going.
Perfect.
What?
But, I mean, it was horrible. I said perfect. Horrible. I can't believe. Yeah.
No, okay. So, but tell me, what was the attraction? Just because, like, the kinds of crazy stuff that they were saying to one another and doing to one another. What was so?
I've thought about this, and I don't know what it was about it. I mean, I think also because as a female, my instinct was to be like, okay, she's probably a victim of domestic violence, etc. And I just, but in this case, I really wanted to see how it would unfold, because I wasn't sold on her story, and yeah, I think maybe that was the appeal, and obviously Johnny Depp is the appeal. He's interesting, I think.
Was he was he the equivalent of my Britney Spears growing up?
No, he's older.
Okay, but so who was your?
Probably like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas? Wow. Really?
I think I'm trying to remember who my posters. My post.
No, but Jonathan. I remember Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and we were 7, 8.
No. Mm-mm.
What? 12, 13?
Yeah. He's around our age, maybe a year or two older.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I still like. Johnny Depp I thought was good looking, but where he wasn't relatable. In the same way.
Okay.
He was a lot older.
Oh, good point. Because Britney Spears is more or less our age.
Yeah.
Right. So when I came into puberty,
so
she was
even
more
though
or less,
Britney Spears was, she was after Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but in terms of like trying to think like at that point in time, like in the 90s, like, I mean, it was Hanson, but Taylor Hanson.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't really one of those types of girls that was really that obsessed with one particular.
Do you think that if this was JTT and Amber Heard, would you be all in as well?
Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think it was because it was just Johnny Depp. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, I really thought about this, not just now. Like, why was I, and I had full-on discussions about it with my friends.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, and, we went back and forth over all the evidence they were giving.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
And
whether she was being framed as the, hysterical female and it was just, reinforcing that.
Look, the fact that you can hold multiple conversations about this with many, many people means that you see yourself or part of yourself in the characters, namely Amber, I would say. And I'm not saying that you're...
the crazy
No.
I got it, okay?
Oh, your husband having shit in his bed. No. We see ourselves in and as you said, right? I'm not saying that you're in a crazy marriage and there's domestic violence going on in your house.
Of course not.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it's a couple.
Yeah.
Man and woman. Loved and then just turned into vitriolic hate, right? And you're just trying to sort of map out exactly how they started and then just evolved into and what was it exactly?
Yeah.
Was it his fame? Right. Was it her jealousy? What? And you can sort of taste a little bit of yourself in their story and be like, okay, and extract the lessons of, all right, if I'm ever on that path of Amber Heard shitting on someone's bed or whatever the hell she did, okay, then I really need to reassess things because I know where this is going. Like that, I think, and then add to that the celebrity and the money and the craziness,
Yeah.
I think. Tell me if you...
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm not going to...
Yeah. But okay, so, but was the evidence a lot of that, like, text and stuff that was on the phone?
Yeah, there was even a letter. Like, there was a letter and...
What do you mean a letter?
That she'd written to him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the other way around.
Yeah.
He'd also... Yeah. I can't remember now, but... Yeah, there was... I think there were texts, but... God, I'm trying to think.
Yeah. But anyway, I think in general, just to go back to the rule, like, don't be a... just watch what you say as you do perfectly. Like, you're pissed, write it out, and then come to a version.
I think the same applies to emails. The same applies to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you let out the raw version of you in person, or do you also just sort of in your mind?
It's funny you should say this because I think texts give me the opportunity to be more confronting in the nicest way possible, but more confronting than I probably would be face to face. But again, within limits, and not the first version, my initial reaction.
But honestly, you're again, one of the things that always struck me about you was that you don't really hold back, even in a group setting. Yes.
I try to not have anything, left over, for lack of a better, to get it out and to say things as they're happening so that it doesn't happen where I come home and I go, oh, why didn't I, say this or that? Like George Costanza moment.
You're a Seinfeld fan?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So you're referring to that episode where, right, he
goes, oh, gosh, it just slipped my mind. I feel like I wish I had my phone to Google it, but I don't. Because Kobe confiscated it before we started. What if there's an emergency? I just realised. I'm just joking. No, you. What does he say? No, you something. Anyway.
So the episode starts where George. So they're having a party at Jerry's house, right? And there's this woman that stood him up, or I don't know what, to George, right? And oh no! She ruined the sweater or something like this. She ruined his sweater. Yes, exactly. Because he comes back to the party later with a sweater with a huge chocolate stain on it or something like that, and she didn't pay for it, and she's just, and so he's been storing up this comeback, right? This sort of he was going to tell off this person.
No, it's a different episode.
Oh,
it's the episode where he's in the office, and they said to him in the big meeting, they all laugh at him in the meeting.
The jerk store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the jerk store. That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in years. I'd seen every episode like 10 times. But anyway,
The jerk store called and they ran out of you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they run out of you.
Such a stupid comeback.
So stupid. But anyway, I try not to, going back to the text, like and who I am in person, like I try to not have that. And like with my friends as well, I just say it as it is. But I'm talking more about the times where they've done something specifically to like actually upset me. And not much upsets me anymore. Like I used to be somebody that really like took everything, I think, to heart. And but yeah, I'm talking about those situations.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing, but you know, where they do something that really doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's more likely that I'll put it into a text than if I wouldn't say it in person. And then we talk it over, and then when we see each other, it's like nothing happened.
But that has the risk of, text. One of the disadvantages is that there's no tone.
That's right, and that was what the article said about not fighting with your spouse over text because you can't read tone. But it also allows you to filter. Like I said, you can edit and you can come up with you can craft it exactly in the way that, and I think it's because I'm a better writer than I am, like, speaker.
Yeah. No, I think most people are.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
No. Well.
At writing? People are terrible at writing.
Yes. But at least everyone has the advantage of being able to edit.
Yeah, to an extent.
Sure.
Anyway.
Okay. Rule number 8.
What is it?
Do not sleep.
Oh, God.
With your phone in the room.
Oh, my goodness. I know. But it's
terrible.
It's right next to me. The whole, like...
Is it right next to you?
Right next to me. And I don't have a bedside table because our doesn't fit into our room, so it's like right there.
Where is it? Is it on your bed?
It's on my bed. It's on airplane mode, but with Wi-Fi. Why? Would you like me to explain to you why?
Please do.
So, clearly I'm a highly strung person.
Yeah.
And so even though my children are home, there have been so many times where I've gotten calls where I need to jump on a plane to Australia because somebody's sick.
Oh, my God.
And when I say so many times, like at least 2, maybe 3 times, where I've gotten on a plane that day. And I get scared. Like if I miss that call, if something's happened, I've got such a short time frame to get there. How ridiculous. This is what I live with in myself.
Yeah.
It's so terrible.
Yeah.
That I need to have my phone near me. Like I don't need phone. I just need to have the ability to receive a WhatsApp phone call. Isn't that ridiculous? I know. I need to just let go, and then I can just turn off my phone and put it in the lounge room, but I just can't manage to do it.
All right, I want to read you what I wrote.
Read.
Go
for it.
Just because this is too technical to... All right. The biggest healthcare providers suggest that diddling on your phone just before going to bed is bad for sleep. According to Northwest Medicine, it's twice as harmful as drinking a cup of coffee before hitting the sack. Our screens emit blue light, which peaks in nature in the mornings. Glaring at our phones at night suppresses our production of melatonin, the hormone released by our brains which helps regulate our sleep. We're thrown off our natural rhythm, to put it plainly. Poor sleep affects us in a bunch of ways, including memory loss and heightened anxiety, and can trigger long-term problems like heart disease and obesity. You read this and you think about your own sleep. You don't want to be low on energy, constantly cranky, overweight, and cranky that you're overweight. Now scale this up to the entire world and consider the consequences. Fucking get that phone out of the goddamn room.
No.
No. What do I need to say? What do I need to write?
There's nothing. I get shit sleep anyway. When my son wakes up. But I think no, there is something there. I don't need just because I have the phone in the room doesn't mean I need to look at it before I go to sleep or when I first wake up.
Yeah.
No, I do need to look at it when I first wake up actually, just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Miss a phone call from my family. That's the only thing. But I think the rest of it, if I were to just really narrow it down to where I genuinely feel that it's important for things other than just checking social media or whatever, like I think that I could really cut it down. I can really make a difference. I can
What
have
are you What are you doing mainly before you go to
Well,
sleep?
this is the problem. I'm scrolling social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and those things I don't need to do. And you're 100% right. I need to just put it away. It doesn't mean I need to take the phone out of the room though. That's extreme.
All right. I tried.
And
Well, I tried with you.
wait, I was going to say, I
tried
thought
and
you were
failed.
saying that you tried taking it out of the room.
All right. Number 9. Restrict. At first, originally, I said no more notifications, but I think that's a bit too much. But restrict the amount of
Wow, I'm
notifications.
impressed at you.
That what? That I moderated myself?
Go on.
No, continue with the insult,
No.
please.
Go on. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Okay. No, I mean, the amount of notifications we receive every day is insane. It's mind-boggling, and most of it is crap. Have you ever seen what kind of stuff you get from your phone?
I don't know what that means. What? Of course I see the stuff that I get. What do you mean?
Okay, but how much of it is noise and how much of it is actual like stuff that really
right.
like a notification
Yes.
means pay attention to this now.
Yes.
How much of that is you're right, I should pay attention to this now versus oh my god, leave me alone.
It's complicated. I mean, look, yeah. I actually, one of the things, I have Snapchat on my phone.
You
and
do?
I don't use it at all though.
Okay.
The only times I've used it is when during lockdowns, I was at the point where I didn't know what to do anymore, and I'd do all the filters with the kids for hours,
yeah.
And it was really great for that.
Yeah.
But I don't use it at all as a, I need to delete it off my phone because I get constant notifications for no reason. I don't
What? Like what?
blah blah has joined Snapchat. Blah blah is on Snapchat. Is on Snapchat. Constantly.
Holy shit.
I need to delete that app off my phone. And yeah, I mean, I think when I think about it as well, LinkedIn, I get a lot of notifications from LinkedIn that I'd rather be able. I can turn off the notifications, so I can go in there and just look at it when I want, and I will. That you're right. Yeah, and then I've also muted a lot of WhatsApp groups.
Mm-hmm.
I will go in there when I want to.
Yeah. So I do that. I've muted
And
groups.
you've made that very clear with your delegating. Keep laughing.
Yeah. Look, there's 2 of us in this damn marriage, and one of us is way better at it than the other.
I do not want to hear that. You're completely capable. You don't want to do it. You're okay. Come on.
No.
Look at you. You're able. You came up with this list of 10 rules, and you can't actually answer a text. Come on. Give me a break.
Of course. No. I will admit. Let's be real. I will admit. I don't want to fucking do that shit.
Neither does she.
I'm not sure.
She does. Oh my God. I'm sure some stuff you think she wants to spend 25 minutes in the evening scrolling through all these boring messages just to make sure that she hasn't missed something important?
Think deeper. Okay?
No.
Yes. She wants to know what's going on in the kids' school life, for example.
Does she not tell you the important things?
Yeah. Oh, we have a Google Calendar. She puts stuff on there.
Right.
I just click accept.
No, but then it's so she wants to know what's going on.
Yes.
So do you. You want to know the important things. You want the quick summary. And she gives that to you. I'm sure she would happily receive it too. And she'll still know. She doesn't need to read all to get to the end point. She doesn't need to read every single one of those texts, but she does have to because there's no other way to do it. Especially when it's not your native language.
Yeah. So I take a light touch approach to parenting, which is I try my best not to get in their way. So you and I both more or less, we know what's going on in these schools, right? They learn some stuff. They learn our kids are really young, so they learn some songs and they learn flags and
Stick some popsicle sticks on a plate.
Right. They learn how to color and.
I'm joking. Yeah.
No, fine, right?
Yeah.
Great, I love it. And I don't need to be involved in whether there's a see-through door at the entrance or
So neither do we. Like,
right.
But no, I'm not saying that your division is bad or anything. I'm not judging you for that. I think it's fine.
Judge away. I don't mind.
I think it's totally fine. Ours isn't not that different. But I'm judging you on your comment.
Yeah.
That you're not good at it, which is not the reason why that you're not doing it.
No. Okay. I see what you're saying. So, yes, fundamentally, you're right. I don't like doing it.
But you're totally capable of it.
Of course.
That's right.
Of course, I'm capable. but I think our interest level is different, and that dictates our capacity to do these things. So
Fair.
She devotes more time thinking about this naturally, I would say, than I do. And therefore she's just more skillful at it. She knows how to skim through the stuff. You're looking at me like I'm just talking shit. No,
I'm listening. I'm trying to, I've just heard this,
No, you're not having it.
Maybe in this situation,
What are you trying to prove?
I'm not trying to prove anything. I just think that it's too often comes back to this, I'm just not as good at it, so she should do it. You don't need to be that great at it. It's not a real skill. Reading some bullshit, these such annoying messages. Don't make me, I'm going to cough. No, look, I'm sure there are things that you do that you hate. I'm sure.
With the kids?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go all patriarchal here. I'm more of the disciplinarian than she is. She
Fair.
Constitutionally cannot do it. Too soft, she just can't do it. She can't do it. She tries to get strict with them, and then one sentence later, she's just completely undermines her own authority. Yeah. Horrible at it. Okay, no, seriously. So some people are just better at some parts of parenting than others, right? And it falls into buckets, I do the laundry. She's terrible at that stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So she does the social media monitoring for our kids. How about this? I arrange play dates.
Wow. I'm being serious. Hate play dates.
Why?
I'm just joking. No, just, it's not that I hate them. It's just another, as you say, it's another thing. I have to respond. I have to, deal with it. It's another thing to deal with.
Yeah. No, there's like it does feel like I don't know, like I'm a credit card company, and I'm just processing a transaction between, buyer and seller, which is the two kids. And I have to have this interaction with that kid's bank, whatever, mom or dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're clearly there just because our kids want to play with one another. And so it's up to us whether to have a real conversation or not. And rare is the case that one parent or the other goes into it thinking, let's make a new friend, right? It's like, oh Christ, this possibly really annoying person. Do you feel that way? Or maybe it's in my own head.
It's not in your own head. I tend to, it's strange though, because like I tend to be more inclined to organize those play dates where I'm friends with the parents, obviously.
Yeah.
And I actually feel guilty for this, that she hasn't had, I feel like she hasn't had enough play dates because I just don't want to have that engagement with the other parents.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's gotten to a point where you don't go with them on their play dates now.
Really?
Well,
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a bit different. But I think also I'm newer than you are. You've had a few more years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really kind of a bit of a
I'm so proud of
beginner.
myself for setting play dates. It's
I'm
like,
proud of you too.
no, really. I'm like, hey,
It's the
hey, wife. You see what I did?
No, I get it. I get it. I get it. It's one of the things I say to my husband. I say, you don't appreciate the effort, what it
Yeah.
takes to be the playdate parent.
Yeah.
You do it sometimes, please. I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Okay, but let's not pat ourselves too much on. It's not that much work. Right? It's just a couple of texts.
no, it really depends
Setting
on
a
the person.
time.
There are people who are, maybe for us, but if you have social anxiety, if it's hard for you to talk to people, you're forced to do it when you have kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess being able to text helps with that, doesn't it?
So just cut down on the fucking notifications.
Yep.
I deleted most of the apps that were hounding me with notifications. I know I could just switch off all notifications. But yeah, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that stuff. I just deleted it. No. If I want to use it, I log on.
Log on the computer.
Or even on my phone, but at least on that way.
That's actually a really good idea.
I just don't get any notifications, and they're so annoying. Every couple of days, every week, I get an email from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is better on the app. Go fuck yourself, LinkedIn. Politely. Okay. All right.
I'm waiting for number 10.
Yeah, this is the hardest one, supposedly. Anyway. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ditch the phone 1 hour a day.
Well, today I'll have achieved that.
Exactly.
For the first time in... I don't know. I mean, even if I'm getting a manicure, I'll, with my dry hand, I'll be checking my phone.
Well, I don't totally blame you on the manicure bit.
I'm just trying to think of an example where I could easily ditch it, in an hour slot. I guess if I'm getting a massage, I would ditch it.
Yeah.
Which I do once a year. Wow, 1 hour a day.
An hour a day.
Sleeping doesn't count, right?
No. An hour of your waking day. At first, you feel a little naked.
Of course. It's like when you step out of the house without it, you're naked.
Although, it pierces through the illusion that we're somehow bound to these things.
That's really... Yeah.
And it's this illusion that we are one with the smartphone that I feel is undermining how we connect with one another, Like there's this thing that just... There's the online version of us, and then there's the real us. And the real us is the one that actually makes the connections in life, right?
I don't agree with that 100%.
Go on.
I wouldn't separate. I think that's true. Maybe there are people who have their own, their persona on Instagram or on Facebook, and that's their online version. But, you need to separate that from the personal communication. It's not the same thing. I think that I'm exactly who I am in
when you think about the moments that define you. Do you think that those you scour your memory banks and you think, oh yeah, it's that time I had that WhatsApp conversation?
It's all part of a bigger picture. It's you don't in real life. You don't always also go, oh, it's about that conversation that I had in person. You don't. It's all a big. I don't think you separate it out like that. You have moments, of course, but being on your phone doesn't mean you don't go to the beach with your friends, and that's the memory that you make. That's the way you get to the beach by I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you two examples, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is extreme and one is more benign. So the first would be sex, right? Pornography.
Okay.
Versus the real thing.
Mm-hmm. But
not even close, right?
Yeah, but you're
One thing is way more meaningful than the other.
yes, but you're not replacing one with the other.
No, I know that. But I'm saying there's the online version of you and then there's the real you. Right? You wouldn't ever if you had a gun to your head, right, you wouldn't ever sacrifice the online you, the real you for the online you, right? In the case of pornography.
Sure.
Right. Okay. Another example, right? So we are on our phones, we have Spotify, YouTube, whatever. We can listen to music as much as we want, and we can all connect with music as much as we want. So, do you like Coldplay?
No.
No. What do you like?
Why did you use Coldplay as the example?
I love Coldplay.
Okay, I don't hate Coldplay. Go on. It doesn't matter. Go on.
Coldplay has been there in really meaningful moments in my life.
Okay.
My first half marathon that I did, I trained and I had that and it was like this sort of uplifting music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, music has that quality where, what?
Coldplay's uplifting.
What's that?
Coldplay's uplifting? I don't remember. Anyway, go on. I don't think of it.
I mean, it's got this divine quality to it, right? This sort of...
I know, a lot of people think that. Anyway, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go on.
No, all good. And so I've associated it in my mind with this challenge that I overcame, right? When I it's like, I don't know, can I run 13 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it turns out I can. And this was sort of when I was training and when I actually, on the day of the race, like this was pounding in my ears and it motivated me to go, right? And so it's a part of my soul is tied up with this thing. And I've associated that really cool achievement that I had in my life. And I once went to a concert of theirs. It was my first concert ever. It was like 20,000 people in Miami. And it was this amazing gathering of strangers, all bound together by music that at some point, in some way, touched their lives. Right? The piece of their soul is tied to the sounds that are coming out of these people and their instruments and this guy's voice. And it was a religious moment in a sense, right? I think this is the reason why so many religions have music at the core of their rituals. Mm-hmm. It binds people together. Now you could say, well, I listen to Coldplay on my phone, and wow, that was really cool, and it's so meaningful to me, and it helped me train for a half marathon or I don't know what. But that doesn't compare at all to the feeling that I had while I was at the concert with all those strangers, and then coming out of the concert with all those strangers, thinking we just went through this incredible experience. So much so that once the concert was over, right, and we're in the parking lot trying to get out, people would turn on the music again, lower the windows so that other people who were on this high of human connection could listen to it again and taste it again and be like, and signal to everyone else, wow, look what we just went through, and you know it as much as I know it, and so that's why I'm going to lower my window down and blast the music that we just heard.
Yeah, I'm not saying phones aren't impacting, like, you know, human connection. Of course, it's starting to, but I just don't see, like, I get the point that you're trying to make, but one thing doesn't, like, just because you're using your phone and listening to Coldplay, I mean, you still went to their concert, you still enjoyed that social interaction and all of you being, you know, one. It's not, it's unrelated. Like you've got them both. So
no, I get that. Yeah, I agree with you that they're not related. My point is to make that explicit. If you leave your house without your phone, all of a sudden you're free of whatever sort of interruptions that are possible when that thing is on.
For that 1 hour.
For that 1 hour.
But I'm pretty sure you were still using your phone while you were at the Coldplay concert, right?
No, this was 2008.
Oh, right. It was your first one. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like all the, I know you've said a lot of, given 2 examples.
Yeah.
I'm just not, like, I can't even remember your initial.
The porn and the sex.
Before you said that,
Mm.
I argued with you about something, but I don't even remember the initial point that you made. It wasn't about the 1 hour. It was connected to the 1 hour a day.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something else.
So piercing the illusion between our real selves and our online selves.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm still not seeing the connection there. Through those examples. You're saying, like, of course, you would, you would choose this over this. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's real versus something that's not real.
Yeah.
But they also, everything serves its own purpose. Like, I
just, okay, let me come at this from I'll take a different pass at this. So you and I are talking without our phones.
Mm-hmm.
I locked them away.
Mm-hmm.
And part of you is feeling a bit nervous. What'd you miss? Right? But part of you is no.
Right now, no.
Right now, no. Okay.
Yeah, of course that happens.
Okay, cool. Great. First of all, amazing. I'm really happy to hear that. I lost my train of thought. Hold on. What's really cool about taking away the phone from ourselves for this conversation is that you realize, first of all, your attention is completely uninterrupted. You're focused on what I'm saying. I'm focused on what you're saying. And I don't know if you've noticed, but time has flown by. We're an hour and 50 minutes into this.
An hour and 50?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's because you and I have been locked into some mental space together, just dancing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And just dancing in this space, having fun, but connecting, right? Really connecting, okay? And that only comes when your attention is locked into whatever the hell it is in front of you. Now, piercing that illusion of online you and real you, it allows you to understand that that is all we have. Say, right now, you are the most important person in my life. Now you laugh, you smile.
No, I'm obviously having a coughing fit.
A well-timed coughing fit.
Sorry. I had a feeling this would happen at some
I
point.
have that effect on people, I suppose. But you are the most important person. I have nowhere else to be. I'm here with you right now. Okay? And so why wouldn't I devote all of my attention to you?
100%. Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember, but when I asked your drunk ass if you wanted to come on here, and you said, me? Why? And I said, because I find you fascinating. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
And it's true, because you maybe don't realize it or don't give yourself the kind of credit that you deserve, but every single person is a microcosm of the universe, right? You're a mother. You are an employee. Those two things in and of itself, you can talk about the world through you. You live it. You are it. And so the same goes for, this stuff with the smartphone, right? I mean, we can talk about this all day long, because your experience with the smartphone and my experience with the smartphone is everyone's experience with the smartphone. We're no different. We're no better. We're no worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but this is only possible when we take away, remove all those distractions that are frankly not that important. You and I are not the Prime Minister of Israel. We're not the president. We're not the head of the CIA. We're not bombarded with emergencies constantly, and yet we choose to act that way. Oh my God! What if someone's gonna, you're ruining your.
You don't act that way.
No, I do. Of course, I do. Maybe not to the level of other people, but I do, right? I check my phone constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, you're ruining your sleep, okay? Thinking that something, oh my God, something might happen, and
But I don't think this is not a phone issue. This is my issue.
well,
As in, I can't mentally,
yeah,
it's like I need to stop being so anxious and stop worrying about things that haven't happened or could potentially happen.
Yeah.
This is less about, like, I know the phone is, leading to,
yeah,
but
it elevates your level of anxiety.
maybe I don't even know, but I think this is a much deeper issue than.
Sure, no, yeah. Look, we all have our quirks, no doubt about it. I would just say that why amplify them when we don't have to?
It's not really a choice, is it?
It's always a choice.
I mean, it's always a choice,
Yeah.
but this is not a question of, it's not a matter of me going, yeah, no problem. I'll just leave my phone outside along with all my anxieties and all my baggage and all my shit. I'll just leave it outside. Easy.
Yeah. No, hey.
It's,
Okay.
turning off notifications. There's a lot of stuff I can do. I think I can really, my gosh, why am I coughing now? I can really improve in terms of my being distracted and not everything is important. I think you're 100% right, and I hope I come out of here and do the 1 hour a day thing. No, I'm being serious. He's got his little violin out. He's being really patronizing.
Arrogant, I think so.
No. You've written all of this. I've taken it. I'm trying to take it on board. I think you're 100% right. You've put it out there. I think it's really legit. And then you bring out the violin. Can you explain that to me?
I just try never to take myself too seriously. Because, again,
I think you've taken yourself quite seriously.
I do, but I also understand that I violate some of these rules myself, right?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean you can't. Oh God, my words are gone. Strive to.
Yeah. Oh
do
yeah.
these things.
Oh yeah. For sure. No, and I think that's the key there. But to say that I practice to the letter what I preach, that would be bullshit. So I don't want to ever say that.
Of course,
Yeah.
but it's also extreme. Like, like even if I can bring it down by 30%,
Yeah.
I'll be a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy that, first of all, I'm really happy that I did this with you.
Yeah.
Really, I mean that. And second of all, like, it's hard to explain the point of all this is this podcast in general, but it is encapsulated in this, and it's people power,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I look at everyone, I suppose, around me, and I think, God, what are we doing?
It's really bad.
What are we doing to ourselves? And also, like, okay, and this is kind of the reason why I say just 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. It's not that much. Just to look outside and take in just how amazing it all is.
When you say outside, you mean outside of the phone, right? You don't mean
Leave your house.
outside. No, I'm going to do it when I'm in my house.
Ooh, okay. Why?
So that I pay my children undivided attention.
Yeah. How do you ever get angry or annoyed when you see a mom or a dad, like, face buried in the phone and the child is standing right next to them?
No.
No?
Look, if the child is, bawling their eyes out, being completely ignored, it depends on the circumstances, because I know that I give my children a lot of attention, but there will be times where I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
So who am I to judge? I don't know that specific moment that I'm seeing that parent. I don't know their story. But yeah, this is another article I read as well, though. Like, the phone, it's not just, it's in addition to being like a physical barrier, it's affecting our children's behavior, like us being on the phone. And I think that's Yeah, that's the thing that really, in the present moment, is most worrying to me. Obviously, you know, when they ask for a phone, that's the next thing I'm going to worry about. But this, in terms of phones, like,
Yeah.
I think in terms of my addiction, I'm going to be honest, that this is where I really need to put a stop to it, because
With
my
your
children,
kids. Yeah.
being on my phone when I'm with my kids,
Yeah.
I just need to say, like, you're right, like, this is not important enough. I need to put the phone away, and that's the hour that I'm going to start with.
So 3 things I want to say, which is, one, there's this dichotomy that we have in our heads between us and our kids, as if we're any better. Yeah, no, we're horrible with the phone, you know.
Of course.
You know, and we have no self-control,
No,
apparently,
I
right?
feel horrible right now. I'm really feeling horrible.
What's that stupid cliche? The night is darkest before the dawn. No, we have to. I think it's healthy to come face to face with the monster within.
I mean, it's not that I didn't know it. I just was ignoring it.
Yeah. No. We have, you know, and this is just a partial list. Like, who knows what ways we behave with our phone that are just so stupid, you know. But these are just 10 things that came to my mind. But so, and you know, I raised a point earlier about projection, right? And I remember vividly, I don't know, a month ago or so, I was walking and I was passing by a bus station, and there was this mom, you know, and a kid was literally right next to her and looking up at her, and she was just there on her phone and not paying attention to her kid. And I thought, fine, but on the other hand, the kid is watching this and thinking this is how you're supposed to behave, you know? And it was a crowded bus stop, and you could talk to other people too, but who the fuck does that, you know? And so what I guess I worry about is they look at that and they think, what's the point of investing in getting to know a stranger or something like that, you know? And
I have the opposite problem with my
what do you mean?
daughter. She wants to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, but unrelated. No,
your daughter's so cool.
But
Can I tell you, there are kids.
I agree.
There are kids in that have come across that they have this kind of star quality too. That there's 2 that I think that are in mind. So one of them is your daughter, where I'm like, can I be your friend? I swear. When my eldest, he has a friend as well, and he's just like, he just walks into a room and he's just like, what's up? I'm here, you know? He's just a star. I love it.
No, you know, but you're 100% right, and it's really scary. I feel sick to my stomach now.
There was a third thing I wanted to say, but I forgot. Yeah, no. So just not understanding how to talk to one another, you know, and you kind of see it, how that's manifests itself in the world. And if it scales up, and look, there is no society if we don't know how to talk to one another, or to understand one another even, you know. And if we lack practice at that, or if our practice is so damaged, right, we forget the mechanisms, right? And these are basic things, you know, privacy, you know, respect for boundaries. I mean, we need all these things. Our lives are constructed as such, you know. I don't know everything about you. You live in a house with walls, and in those house with walls, there are other walls, right? So your kids don't go into your damn room. Like, we can't be inundated with stuff from strangers all the time, right? Like, we've got to...
Not only strangers.
Right.
Actually, strangers is, to me, less of a problem.
Yeah. Oh, huh?
No, I'm saying, like, it's the constant need to be responding and to be, you know, dealing with the people who you don't want to hurt, or the people who you feel you need to, you know, that to me is a bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to come back to the first point, right, which was the point I'm going to apparently never win, but no smartphones for anyone under the age of 18. I don't know. I made that first for a reason, you know? And it sounds like you're coming out of this conversation thinking, well, the stuff I need to do. And the truth is that all of us, right? It's fuck the phones, like that, and the phone companies. I just don't think that expecting them to make the stuff less addictive is the right approach. Because why would they?
No.
And I don't blame them. They're just, they're a company. They're making products that the market responds to and really, really wants. So why not? I just think that the market needs to send a different signal, which is, we're all in agreement that this has gone a little bit too far, and we need to reorient our behavior around this stuff.
But you think employers are going to do that?
Yeah. It's a tough one. No, huh? You think all employers are...
It's the way of promoting work-life balance, which is absurd. But like it's like they can't, if they're anti, not anti, but if they don't promote the use of phones or say like, your flexibility, you've got work-life balance and you can be flexible. Like phones facilitate that. Mm-hmm. And if they say like, no, we've got a rule, we don't use phones between this and these hours, but like, then it removes that flexibility. I don't know the answer.
Yeah. I think, what is it in France that they, there's some law that you're not allowed to send emails on the weekends or after work hours?
Yeah, that could.
But I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can still write them and prepare them. No, but it's not the same thing. It's about that instant response. Yeah.
Do you think that at points I went too far? Like when you're cycling back through the stuff that we talked about, do you think...
I think it's good to aim high. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I think yeah. I think I said when I did, but like I said, even like 18, maybe that's a push. But
well, what do you think the right age is?
I've to be honest, I haven't given this enough thought. Like even coming into here, I intentionally didn't think about it too much.
Good.
And I wanted to just to react. And because it is, I think, a huge issue for me that I've been ignoring, because I know it's like any addiction, it's an actual addiction.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge challenge for me to deal with. And so I haven't been thinking about it, and I don't want to think about the kids, and I don't want to worry about all of this. So I put it in the repressed...
Okay, but here and here's a secret reason, I think, why I really wanted to talk to you about this, specifically you.
Goodness.
No.
Go on.
No. So, as I said in the beginning, you're a person that you wear your heart in your sleeve. You tell it like it is, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think embedded in that is like this, I don't know, like a lust for life. This is who I am. I live once. You either like it, you don't like it, but you know that this is coming from a good place fundamentally, and fuck you if you're too sensitive or whatever the hell,
Yeah, to an extent, I would say. So.
Right.
Yeah.
and I bet you're the kind of mom that really is into the small details. But not because you're an obsessive, although I suppose that's part of it as well, but also because you understand that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, whatever, you're going to be looking back and pointing to that or wanting to remember it or documenting some part of your life so that it only enriches the rest of your life going forward.
I'm not sure I think about it
consciously,
so I'm not really sure.
Okay. I guess the point I'm trying to say is you have a heightened appreciation for life, I would say. I mean, again, here's another, let me add to this argument, which is, why did you move from Australia to this country?
That's for a whole nother podcast.
Give me the brief.
Actually it's related to some of the things that we've spoken about, which, like at the beginning, it goes all the way back to the very beginning of our conversation, which is that I'm honest, I say it as it is, and that's the culture here.
Oh, you think you adapted to...
No, I think that that's who I've always been, and so I fit in better here.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons. I've got a lot of, my roots are here. Like I do have a connection to this country. My mum was born here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've always spoken the language. It's not such a strange thing for me to do anyway. But I also just think, and maybe because I kind of grew up in a bit of a microcosm of Israel. Like my grandparents, my grandmother was born here, and so that's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
I was brought up around very loud people. I didn't understand why they were like that until I moved here.
Yeah.
And I still had friends in Australia, of course. I had my network, but I fit in better here.
I think the point I'm trying to make is a deeper point. It's not necessarily Zionism or not Zionism.
No.
It's more of, and this applies to anyone that leaves where they came from and goes somewhere else, which is a sense of adventure, right? So you could have been frustrated, or I don't know where you were, but then you said, fuck this isn't all there is to life. I'm going to go try my hand somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay? That is like I am not having a mediocre life. I might fail, I might whatever, but I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to make my life my damn life, right?
Yeah.
And you see this in people that move, from their own volition, right? I have friends, even in the States, I have friends that left where we grew up and they live in a different state, and they've had an adventure, a hell of an adventure, in the process. And that sense of adventure is, I think, can be translated as a deeper appreciation for the one life we live and trying to make the most of it. And it manifests itself in all sorts of ways and with across all kinds of people. But I just had this sense that someone like you would understand where I'm coming from.
Of course I do. But I have to say, being obsessed with the small details is actually what gets in the way of all the rest of the stuff that you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Being distracted by the small details, forgetting what matters and what doesn't, can actually impact.
Right. Because you've got a million things juggling through your mind, and then
constantly,
and then
you lose the big picture.
Yeah.
But that's not the point of this discussion.
Right.
But yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, I think most of that's everything. I feel like shit now.
You came in here sick physically, and I've just mentally screwed you up a little bit.
It's the first step to recovery.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do. Tov, let's wrap this up. Can I call you Abby, or is it just Abigail?
Yeah, of course.
What do your friends call you?
Abby.
Abby?
Yeah.
All this time you were Abigail.
Never noticed you calling me by my names.
I don't think I've ever called you by your name.
No.
Hey, crazy bitch. No.
Cannot.
No, but it's all love. Really?
I'm fine.
I know.
I'm just going through my head thinking how many other
Hey,
people
you called
think
me
that.
arrogant.
No, but I only thought that because clearly you thought I was crazy, so you weren't being particularly friendly.
Oh, was I not friendly?
No, you were fine. You were perfectly fine. You were just like, hi. And I was like, okay, this guy isn't really interested in talking to me. That's fine. I don't really care. But like, chicken and the egg.
I see. So am I the guilty party first? Who fired the first shot?
No, but there's never really been, I think both of us were very good at not showing that we thought anything. I just thought, he's busy, he's got better things to do. He doesn't he doesn't want to do it's very Seinfeldian, He doesn't want the small talk at pick up and drop off.
No.
It's like, he's just like Jerry,
No.
If Jerry was here, he wouldn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
He's just I want to drop him off. I want to get to work. I don't want to talk to all these random parents. leave me alone. That's what I thought.
Are you a small talk person? No. Huh? You go straight straight to the heart, especially of the jugular.
No. But I'm people say I'm good at the small talk. It doesn't mean I like it. But I mean, I used to work a lot with, like, you know, delegations from Asia, and like that was my job, like international. That's just full of small talk. That is just,
Yeah.
you know.
Because what the hell do you guys have to connect about? Other
No,
than,
I mean,
well, this was in Australia, right?
yeah, no, there was lots to connect about. It was great, but like obviously when you're meeting new people and delegations, it's the first thing you need to do is get the small talk out of the way for the first like day or two,
Right.
and that's when you get
2 days.
you know, with all the different people, and then you get to the deeper issues and you talk about family and whatever with them, and but yeah, it's
I hate small
it was
talk.
my job.
I'm terrible at small talk. Like really, really bad.
You also, I just think just like with those messages, you could probably do it, but you just don't like it. Anyway.
With that insult, I say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Abby.